The internet is on fire tonight, and if you thought reality TV drama couldn't get any messier, buckle up, because what you're about to hear has fans absolutely shocked. In a whirlwind of accusations, explosive confrontations, and jaw-dropping throwbacks, three completely different worlds have collided in a way nobody saw coming. From a heated showdown between Mena and Spice, to whispers swirling around Young Thug and his ongoing legal nightmare, all the way to a nostalgic, but suspicious, resurfacing of Bed Bath & Beyond, emotions ran high and the timeline hasn't been the same since. It all started with a single comment, just a few words dropped online, that fans swear felt like a match tossed into gasoline. What was meant to be shade quickly turned into an all-out war of words, with Erica and Spice dragging old wounds, past betrayals, and personal insecurities straight into the spotlight. Screenshots started flying, voices were raised, and before anyone could blink, the drama spilled far beyond the screen. Fans are shocked by how fast things escalated, and insiders claim this feud has been brewing quietly for years, waiting for the right moment to explode. But just when everyone thought they could focus on one mess at a time, another bomb dropped. As cameras flash and blogs speculate, Young Thug's legal fight took a dramatic turn that left his family tense, his supporters divided, and the industry holding its breath. Friends reportedly scrambled behind the scenes, emotions ran high in private meetings, and rumors of unexpected testimony sent shockwaves through social media. Some fans are standing 10 toes down in support, while others are questioning everything they thought they knew. The stakes? Higher than ever. And then, because this story refuses to stay in one lane, a strange throwback began trending. Old images, forgotten commercials, and eerie memories of Bed Bath & Beyond flooded timelines, sparking conspiracy theories, emotional nostalgia, and wild speculation. Why now? Who brought it back? And how does it tie into the chaos already unfolding? What seemed like a harmless blast from the past suddenly felt loaded with meaning, leaving fans wondering if this was distraction, symbolism, or something much deeper. By the end of this story, alliances will be questioned, reputations will be shaken, and the family was left divided in more ways than one. So stay right here, because once you hear what was said behind closed doors, who allegedly crossed the line, and why fans believe this is far from over, you'll realize this drama is bigger, louder, and messier than anyone expected. The moment the clip resurfaced, everything shifted. One shaky video, grainy audio, and a caption that felt way too intentional for comfort. Fans leaned in, replayed it again and again, and what they heard sent shockwaves through every corner of the internet. Erica's voice, sharp and unapologetic, cutting through the noise, and Spice's name hanging in the air like a challenge. Within minutes, emotions ran high, timelines exploded, and the comments section turned into a battleground. Nobody was ready for what this was about to become. Sources close to the situation say this didn't come out of nowhere. For years, tension simmered just beneath the surface, polite smiles masking unresolved resentment. Industry events where they stood feet apart but worlds away, exchanging looks that fans now swear were loaded with meaning. The kind of tension that doesn't scream right away, but waits. And now, finally, it snapped. Erica allegedly felt disrespected, undermined, and silenced for far too long. Spice, on the other hand, believed she was being targeted, her words twisted, her intentions misread. Two powerful personalities, neither willing to back down, both convinced they were right. The first public shot was subtle, almost easy to miss. A cryptic post, a vague caption, but fans caught it instantly. Screenshots spread like wildfire. People zoomed in, circled phrases, compared timestamps. Within hours, reactions poured in. Some fans rallied behind Erica, praising her for finally speaking her truth. Others accused her of stirring drama for attention. Spice's supporters fired back just as hard, calling Erica calculated and messy. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided not just between the two women, but among fans, friends, and even industry insiders who suddenly found themselves pressured to pick a side. Behind closed doors, things were reportedly even worse. Raised voices, slammed phones, tears that never made it to social media. Insiders whisper about a late-night call that went completely off the rails. Erica, emotional and furious, allegedly confronted Spice directly, demanding accountability. Spice, equally heated, refused to be painted as the villain. Words were exchanged that, according to those close to the situation, can never be taken back. Accusations of betrayal, of fake friendships, of using each other for clout flew back and forth, the kind of argument where silence afterward feels heavier than the shouting. As this drama unfolded, another storm was brewing elsewhere. Young Thug's legal fight, already weighing heavily on his family, suddenly intersected with the chaos in an unexpected way. Rumors began swirling that conversations about loyalty, betrayal, and public perception were hitting too close to home. Fans are shocked by how often his name started popping up in unrelated discussions, as if the energy of one situation was bleeding into another. People close to him say the stress was visible, the tension undeniable. Court dates loomed, lawyers stayed tight-lipped, and every new headline felt like another punch to the gut. Friends reportedly tried to shield him from the noise, but it was impossible. Social media doesn't sleep, and neither does speculation. Some fans accused the media of piling on, of turning serious legal matters into entertainment. Others dissected every move, every lyric, every old interview, searching for hidden meanings. The family was left divided on how much to say, how much to show, and whether silence was strength or surrender. Emotions ran high during private family meetings, with voices cracking under the weight of fear and uncertainty. And then, just when the internet thought it couldn't handle more, a throwback trend surfaced that nobody expected. Bed Bath & Beyond, a name that once meant coupons, weekend errands, and domestic normalcy suddenly became a viral talking point. Old commercials resurfaced, nostalgic tweets went viral, and people began attaching symbolism to the most unexpected places. Fans joked at first, but then the tone shifted. Why now? Why this? Why during all this chaos? Conspiracy theories bloomed overnight, some harmless, others unsettling. People connected dots that maybe weren't there, but in a moment like this, nothing felt accidental. Some claimed the throwback represented comfort in chaos, a reminder of simpler times amid public meltdowns and legal turmoil. Others believed it was a distraction, strategically pushed to pull attention away from deeper issues. Screenshots circulated showing alleged connections, timelines overlapped, and suddenly a retail brand became part of a cultural conversation it never asked to join. Fans are shocked at how quickly nostalgia turned into narrative. Meanwhile, Erica and Spice's situation continued to spiral. A second clip dropped, longer this time, clearer. The tone was colder, more deliberate. Erica's words cut deep, and Spice's response, though indirect, was just as powerful. Fans dissected every syllable. Reaction videos popped up by the minute. Emotions ran high across platforms, with some viewers admitting they felt exhausted but couldn't look away. This was reality TV energy without the cameras, raw and unfiltered. Friends of both women attempted damage control, releasing statements that said a lot without saying anything at all. Phrases like misunderstanding and taken out of context were thrown around, but nobody was buying it. The energy was too real, the hurt too visible. The family was left divided as relatives and close friends quietly unfollowed each other. Likes disappeared, and digital silence spoke louder than words. In private, sources say Erica questioned everything. Past alliances, old sacrifices, moments she once thought were genuine. Spice, too, reportedly leaned on her inner circle, expressing frustration at being misunderstood and attacked. Both women felt wronged, both felt justified. And in the middle of it all, fans projected their own experiences onto the situation, turning the feud into something personal. As Young Thug prepared for yet another legal hurdle, the emotional overlap became impossible to ignore. Betrayal, loyalty, public judgment, private pain. The same themes echoed across every storyline, tying them together in a way that felt almost scripted. Fans are shocked by how interconnected everything feels, like one massive saga unfolding in real time. By the time the night ended, nothing was resolved. No apologies, no clarifications, no closure. Just silence, speculation, and a sense that this was only the beginning. Emotions ran high, the family was left divided, and the internet waited, refreshing timelines, knowing deep down that the next twist was already on its way. The silence didn't last long. It never does. By morning, the energy had shifted again, heavier, darker, like everyone knew something was coming but didn't know from which direction. Fans woke up to deleted posts, edited captions, and a sudden wave of people going private. That alone was enough to send speculation into overdrive. When people start locking accounts, you know emotions ran high behind the scenes. And according to insiders, the night after that second clip dropped was absolute chaos. Erica was reportedly surrounded by a tight circle, pacing, replaying old moments out loud, asking the same question over and over. Why now? Why her? Why like this? She allegedly felt pushed into a corner, forced to defend herself publicly when all she wanted was acknowledgement. Those close to her say she wasn't just angry, she was hurt in a way that cut deep. This wasn't about clout or clicks to her, this was personal. Every accusation felt like an attack on her character, her motherhood, her past sacrifices. Emotions ran high as she debated whether to go live and say everything or stay silent and let the storm pass. On the other side, Spice was dealing with her own unraveling. Friends say she felt blindsided, like something that should have stayed private was dragged into the spotlight without warning. She reportedly replayed the clips with disbelief, shaking her head, pointing out moments she felt were taken completely out of context. To her, the narrative online was unfair, skewed, and fueled by people who were never in the room. She questioned who she could trust, who might be leaking information, and who was quietly enjoying the chaos. The family was left divided even within her camp, some urging her to clap back hard, others begging her to take the high road. And then, as if the universe wanted to pour gasoline on the fire, a third voice entered the conversation. A so-called friend, someone who had been close to both women at different points, went on a podcast and spoke just enough to cause damage. No names were dropped, but the hints were obvious. Phrases like "I saw this coming" and "people change when the cameras are off" sent fans spiraling. Emotions ran high all over again. Comment sections turned ruthless. Loyalty was questioned. Old clips were resurfaced, stitched together, analyzed like evidence in a trial. This podcast moment cracked something open. Suddenly, it wasn't just Erica versus Spice. It was about the industry, about how women are pitted against each other, about who benefits when friendships fall apart publicly. Fans are shocked at how quickly sympathy shifted back and forth. One moment Erica was the villain, the next she was the victim. Spice experienced the same whiplash. There was no clear hero here, only layers of pain and ego colliding in real time. Meanwhile, Young Thug's situation continued to loom like a shadow over everything. Word spread that the stress of public opinion was weighing heavily on him. Supporters noticed changes, subtle but telling. Fewer public appearances, more guarded expressions. Those close to him described a tense atmosphere, where every conversation eventually circled back to the case. Emotions ran high during family dinners, where laughter felt forced and silence lingered too long. The family was left divided on strategy. Some believed staying quiet was safest. Others felt silence was letting the narrative run wild. Fans, of course, had their own theories. Some believed the chaos surrounding Erica and Spice was distracting the public from more serious conversations. Others thought it was all connected by timing, by energy, by the way controversy feeds controversy. Social media doesn't separate stories, it stacks them, blends them, turns them into one non-stop spectacle. And that's exactly what was happening. Then came the live session. Unannounced. Unexpected. Erica went live late at night, eyes sharp, voice steady but trembling underneath. The room was quiet except for her breathing and the sound of notifications flooding in. Fans leaned in. This was it. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. That almost made it worse. She spoke slowly, choosing words carefully, hinting at betrayal without naming it outright. She talked about respect, about boundaries, about being tired of swallowing hurt to keep peace. Emotions ran high as viewers felt every pause, every sigh. Minutes later, Spice's camp responded indirectly. Not with a live, but with a post that felt calculated and calm. Strength, truth, timing. 3 words that sent fans into another frenzy. Was it a warning? A dismissal? A promise? Nobody knew. But the tension skyrocketed. The family was left divided as fans begged both women to stop while simultaneously demanding more. And just when it seemed like this chapter couldn't get stranger, the Bed Bath & Beyond throwback took a surreal turn. An old interview resurfaced where one of the women mentioned shopping there during a rough period in her life, framing it as a place of comfort. Fans latched onto it instantly. Suddenly, the brand symbolized escape, normalcy, a life untouched by public scrutiny. Memes popped up comparing courtroom stress to wandering store aisles. It was funny until it wasn't. People started reading deeper meaning into everything, connecting emotional refuge to public breakdowns. Young Thug's supporters began using the throwback as a metaphor too, talking about longing for simpler times before headlines and handcuffs. The overlap was eerie. Emotions ran high as fans from completely different communities found themselves agreeing, bonding over shared exhaustion with fame, pressure, and public judgment. Behind the scenes, legal teams, managers, and publicists were scrambling. Phones rang non-stop. Statements were drafted and scrapped. Everyone wanted control of the narrative, but nobody could fully grab it. The internet had already decided this was bigger than any single explanation. This was about power, pain, and perception. By the end of that day, alliances had shifted again. People who were loud went quiet. People who were silent started speaking. And in the middle of it all, the questions grew louder. Who leaked what? Who benefits? Who's telling the truth? Fans are shocked by how messy it all became, how quickly admiration turned into suspicion. And as night fell once more, the feeling was unmistakable. This story wasn't cooling down. It was mutating, evolving, pulling more people into its orbit. Emotions ran high, the family was left divided, and somewhere between nostalgia and outrage, everyone sensed that the next revelation was already waiting to drop. By the 3rd day, the narrative had splintered into 1,000 versions of the same truth, and somehow all of them felt believable. Fans weren't just watching anymore, they were investigating. Timelines were built, screenshots were cataloged, and every old interview was pulled apart frame by frame. Emotions ran high as people convinced themselves they were uncovering something bigger than a simple feud. It felt like a mystery that everyone wanted to solve at the same time. Erica reportedly woke up to messages she never expected to see. Old acquaintances reaching out with concern, some offering support, others asking questions that felt more like interrogations. She allegedly felt exposed, like her entire life was being reviewed by strangers who didn't know half the story. There were moments, sources say, where she considered stepping away entirely, logging off, disappearing. But the pull of defending herself was stronger. Silence felt like surrender, and she wasn't ready to give that to anyone. Spice's world wasn't any calmer. Her phone buzzed non-stop with advice, warnings, and leaked information she swore she'd never shared. Trust became a luxury she couldn't afford. Insiders say she began questioning every conversation, every smile, every message sent during the peak of her success. Who was really in her corner, and who was waiting for a moment like this? Emotions ran high as she vented privately, expressing exhaustion at having to constantly prove her intentions. Then came the unexpected twist. A mutual acquaintance, someone long rumored to know too much, hinted online that there was a private meeting months ago that changed everything. No details, no names, just enough to send fans spiraling again. Speculation exploded. What meeting? Who was there? What was said? Theories ranged from business disagreements to personal betrayals that had nothing to do with fame. The family was left divided as people close to both sides denied knowing anything while clearly knowing something. Young Thug's situation took on new weight as well. Supporters noticed how the language online began mirroring legal terms. Evidence, testimony, motive. It was unsettling. People were treating social media like a courtroom, and everyone was both judge and jury. Emotions ran high as fans debated justice versus perception, truth versus narrative. Those close to him worried that the constant noise was affecting not just him, but the people he loved most. Behind closed doors, a tense strategy meeting reportedly took place involving multiple camps. Not a peace talk, not a truce, but a calculation. What to say, what not to say, how to move without making things worse. Some advised Erica to release everything, receipts and all. Others warned that doing so would only deepen the divide. Spice faced the same crossroads. Reveal or restrain. Fight or rise above. Neither option felt safe. And then, in a move nobody predicted, the conversation shifted to family. Erica spoke softly in a rare moment, hinting at how the stress was affecting her children. Fans immediately reacted, some with sympathy, others accusing her of using family to gain favor. Emotions ran high as parents in the comments shared their own experiences, turning the drama into a collective emotional release. Spice, feeling cornered, reportedly confided that her own family was urging her to protect her peace at all costs, even if that meant walking away publicly. The Bed Bath & Beyond symbolism grew stranger. People started sharing stories of going there during breakups, during legal troubles, during moments when life felt out of control. It became less about a store and more about a shared emotional refuge. The internet turned nostalgia into therapy. Fans are shocked at how a throwback turned into a coping mechanism for collective anxiety. Young Thug's name resurfaced again when a clip circulated of him speaking years ago about loyalty and patience. Fans dissected it like prophecy. Emotions ran high as supporters framed his words as a reminder to endure storms quietly. Critics argued that silence allows narratives to harden. The family was left divided even among fans, with debates growing more intense by the hour. Then came another leak. A private message, allegedly sent months before any of this went public. Its tone was calm, almost friendly, which made it more devastating. People questioned why things escalated if communication once seemed possible. Erica's supporters argued it proved she tried to resolve things privately. Spice's fans claimed it showed manipulation. Emotions ran high as the same screenshot was used to argue completely opposite points. Industry insiders began weighing in anonymously, painting a picture of long-standing power struggles and unspoken competition. Nothing concrete, just vibes and implications. But vibes were enough. The narrative shifted from personal drama to systemic issues. How women are treated, how conflicts are monetized, how public breakdowns become content. Fans are shocked by how reflective the conversation suddenly became, even as the mess continued. As the days blended together, fatigue set in. But it wasn't over. Erica hinted at one final statement, something she claimed would clear everything up. Spice's camp prepared for impact, bracing for whatever might come next. Young Thug's supporters watched closely, feeling like every public conflict added pressure to an already unbearable situation. And in that uneasy pause before the next drop, the tension was almost unbearable. No one knew who would speak first, what would be revealed, or how much damage was already done. Emotions ran high, the family was left divided, and the sense that this story was spiraling towards something irreversible hung thick in the air, waiting to explode again. The pause broke without warning. A single notification set everything off again, and this time it didn't come from Erica or Spice directly. It came from someone fans hadn't seen in years, a background figure suddenly stepping into the light. The post was short, almost casual, but it carried weight. It referenced late-night conversations, missed calls, and promises that were never meant for public consumption. Emotions ran high instantly. People screenshotted it before it could disappear, and within minutes it was everywhere. Erica's circle reportedly reacted first, scrambling to figure out who leaked what and why now. Some felt betrayed, others felt vindicated. There was talk of cutting people off permanently, of drawing hard lines that could never be uncrossed. Erica herself was said to be shaken, not because the claims were shocking, but because they confirmed what she had long suspected, that some of the deepest wounds came from people she once trusted the most. The family was left divided as even close relatives questioned whether speaking out was worth the toll it was taking. Spice, meanwhile, was reportedly furious. Friends say she felt ambushed, like the narrative was being hijacked by outsiders hungry for relevance. She questioned motives loudly in private, asking why certain voices stayed silent for years only to resurface now. Emotions ran high as she debated responding directly for the first time, not with hints or symbols but with names and dates. Her team urged caution, warning that once certain doors were opened, they could never be closed again. The internet, of course, took the reins. Fans turned into amateur psychologists, breaking down body language from old videos, tone shifts in archived interviews, even pauses in speech. Everything became evidence. The line between reality and performance blurred completely. Some viewers admitted they no longer knew who to believe, but they couldn't stop watching. Fans are shocked by how invested they'd become in strangers' pain. Young Thug's legal situation re-entered the conversation in a heavier way. Reports surfaced that the constant media frenzy was being discussed privately by those close to him, not as gossip, but as an example of how narratives can spin out of control. Emotions ran high as supporters worried about how public perception might influence outcomes beyond anyone's control. The family was left divided on whether to address the public at all or retreat completely. Then came a moment that shifted the tone again. Erica posted a photo, not of herself, but of something ordinary. No caption, no explanation, just a quiet image that fans immediately interpreted as a message. Some saw peace, others saw defiance. Spice's supporters accused her of playing mind games. Erica's fans praised her restraint. Emotions ran high over something that, on the surface, meant nothing at all. The Bed Bath & Beyond throwback evolved yet again, becoming almost symbolic of the entire saga. People joked about needing a reset aisle for life, somewhere to wander when everything feels too loud. Humor became a coping mechanism. Memes softened the edge of anger, but the underlying tension remained. Fans are shocked by how humor and heartbreak coexisted so closely. Behind the scenes, one final attempt at mediation was rumored. A quiet outreach, carefully worded, designed to lower the temperature. No cameras, no posts, just conversation. Whether it actually happened remains unclear, but the idea alone sparked debate. Should public drama be resolved privately, or had it gone too far for that? Emotions ran high as people argued both sides passionately. Spice eventually broke her silence in a way no one expected. Not with confrontation, but with reflection. She spoke about growth, about learning when to speak and when to step back. She never mentioned names, but everyone knew who she meant. Fans reacted instantly, some calling it classy, others calling it evasive. The family was left divided once again. Erica watched it all unfold, reportedly torn between relief and frustration. Relief that the tone had softened, frustration that clarity still felt out of reach. Sources say she questioned whether closure was even possible at this point, or if the damage had already set. Emotions ran high as she weighed her next move, knowing whatever she did would be dissected within seconds. And as the noise briefly dipped, a strange calm settled in. Not resolution, not peace, but exhaustion. The kind that comes after days of emotional whiplash. Fans slowed their posts. Commentators ran out of new angles. But beneath that calm was the unmistakable sense that this wasn't finished, only paused. Because too many questions remained unanswered. Too many feelings unspoken. Too many people still hurt. Emotions ran high even in silence. The family was left divided in quiet ways, and everyone watching knew that when this story moved again, it wouldn't tiptoe. It would crash forward, louder than before, pulling everything and everyone back into the storm. The calm shattered the moment a new rumor slipped into the conversation, subtle at first, almost easy to ignore. A whisper that something official was coming. Not a post, not a live, but paperwork. That alone changed everything. Fans leaned forward again, refreshing feeds, waiting for confirmation. Emotions ran high as speculation turned sharper, more serious. This wasn't just messy feelings anymore, this was about consequences. Erica reportedly felt the weight immediately. Friends say she went quiet, unusually so, retreating inward as she considered what escalation really meant. Speaking your truth feels different when it might be quoted, archived, or challenged in ways you can't undo. She allegedly replayed past decisions in her mind, moments where she could have walked away but didn't. The family was left divided on what came next. Some urged her to protect herself at all costs. Others begged her to choose peace, even if it meant letting certain things go unresolved. Spice's camp sensed the shift too. The tone online had changed from gossip to anticipation. People weren't just reacting anymore, they were waiting. Friends say Spice felt both defensive and determined, torn between standing her ground and preserving her legacy. She had worked too hard, endured too much, to let a single narrative define her. Emotions ran high as she weighed whether silence would look like guilt or maturity. Every option felt risky, and then Young Thug's situation intersected again in a way that felt impossible to ignore. A hearing date update circulated, and suddenly the conversation snapped back to reality. Fans were reminded that beyond drama and speculation, real lives were hanging in the balance. Supporters expressed frustration that serious matters were being drowned out by online theatrics. Emotions ran high as people debated responsibility, media ethics, and the cost of constant outrage. The Bed Bath & Beyond symbolism reached a strange peak. What started as nostalgia now felt like a mirror. People joked about needing a place to breathe, a space untouched by chaos. But beneath the humor was a shared exhaustion. Everyone, from fans to insiders, seemed tired. Tired of picking sides. Tired of decoding posts. Tired of watching pain turn into content. The family was left divided in quieter ways now, less shouting, more distance. Then came the statement that wasn't a statement. A carefully worded message released through a third party, vague enough to avoid specifics, strong enough to signal boundaries. No names. No accusations. Just a line about truth having many layers and time revealing all of them. Emotions ran high as fans argued over what it meant. Some saw it as a warning shot, others saw it as an olive branch. Nobody agreed, which only fueled the tension. Erica reportedly read it multiple times, searching for something direct, something she could respond to. Sources say she felt a mix of anger and sadness, like being spoken around instead of spoken to. She questioned whether this indirect communication was a strategy or a shield. Spice, meanwhile, was said to feel relieved, believing the message would slow things down. But the internet had other plans. Reaction videos flooded timelines again. People claimed insider knowledge. Others pretended neutrality while clearly leaning one way. Emotions ran high as misinformation spread faster than facts. Even those who tried to stay out of it were pulled back in by tags, mentions, and expectations to comment. Silence became suspicious. Everything was read as intentional. Young Thug's supporters expressed growing concern about how narratives can spiral beyond control. Some drew parallels openly, talking about how once a story escapes into the public, it no longer belongs to the people living it. The family was left divided on whether engaging helps or harms. Those conversations echoed quietly behind the scenes, heavy with fear and fatigue. Then, unexpectedly, a moment of vulnerability surfaced. Not dramatic, not loud, just honest. Someone close to Erica spoke about how public conflict can reopen old wounds, especially for those who've survived instability. Emotions ran high as fans connected deeply, sharing their own stories. For a brief moment, the drama felt human again, less about sides and more about survival. Spice responded not with rebuttal, but with distance. Fewer posts, less engagement. Some called it strategic, others called it self-preservation. Either way, it changed the energy. The fire dimmed, but the embers stayed hot. The family was left divided in subtle ways now, less visible, more internal. As days passed, the story stopped trending but didn't disappear. It lingered in comments, in whispers, in the way people referenced it indirectly. Fans are shocked by how something so loud could fade without resolution. No apology, no final word, just a shared understanding that something had broken and might never fully mend. And in that lingering quiet, a question hovered. Not just about Erica and Spice, not just about Young Thug, not just about nostalgia and distraction, but about why these stories grip so tightly, why conflict feels addictive, and what happens when the audience moves on before the people involved have healed. Emotions ran high even in absence. The family was left divided without headlines to market, and somewhere between reflection and resentment, the sense grew stronger that this wasn't the end, only the calm before one last, unavoidable shift. The shift came quietly, almost deceptively so. No alerts, no trending tags, no sudden spike in views. Just a subtle change in tone that only the most attentive fans noticed at first. The outrage had cooled, but the damage hadn't healed. It settled instead, heavy and unresolved, like a bruise that stops hurting only because it's gone numb. Emotions ran high beneath the surface, even as the noise faded. Erica was said to be sitting with the aftermath now, not reacting, not responding, just absorbing what had happened. Sources close to her described moments of deep reflection, where anger gave way to disappointment, and disappointment hardened into something quieter but more permanent. This wasn't about winning anymore. It was about what had been lost along the way. Trust, safety, the belief that some bonds were unbreakable. The family was left divided in ways that didn't show online, but lived in unanswered calls and conversations that never happened. Spice, too, was feeling the weight. Friends said she was calmer on the outside but restless within. She had said what she felt needed to be said, and now she was living with how it landed. There was no celebration, no sense of victory, only the realization that public silence doesn't erase private impact. Emotions ran high when she spoke about growth, not as a slogan, but as a necessity. Growth because staying the same suddenly felt impossible. Fans began noticing the absence more than the presence. No more cryptic posts, no indirect quotes, no sudden lives. And strangely, that made people uneasy. Some wanted closure wrapped in a bow. Others wanted one final explosion. But neither came. Instead, the story lingered like unfinished business. Fans are shocked by how uncomfortable unresolved drama can feel when there's nothing left to react to. Young Thug's legal battle continued, steady and unforgiving. Updates were scarce, but the tension was constant. Supporters rallied quietly now, less performative, more protective. There was a shared understanding that some fights aren't meant to be spectacle. Emotions ran high during moments of silence, where imagination filled in gaps that facts could not. The family was left divided on how much hope to show publicly and how much fear to process privately. What became clear was how deeply everything had intertwined. The arguments, the rumors, the nostalgia, the legal weight. It all reflected the same pressure cooker environment where fame magnifies pain and silence is never neutral. The Bed Bath & Beyond throwback, once a joke, now felt like a snapshot of collective yearning. Not for a store, but for normalcy. For moments where problems didn't come with audiences. People began pulling back, not because they stopped caring, but because caring started to hurt. Comment sections slowed. Reaction channels moved on, but those who had followed closely carried the residue. Emotions ran high in subtler ways now, in private messages, in group chats, in late-night reflections about loyalty and perception. Erica was rumored to be considering a fresh start, not a rebrand, but a reset. Fewer explanations. Clearer boundaries. She had learned, painfully, that being understood by everyone is impossible. The family was left divided on whether this chapter should be addressed again or left to fade. Sometimes, healing looks like silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because you've said too much already. Spice focused inward, reportedly leaning into work that grounded her. Music. Routine. Things that existed before the noise and would exist after. Emotions ran high when she spoke privately about being misread, about how strength is often mistaken for indifference. She wasn't unbothered, she was just choosing herself. And the audience, slowly, began to see their role differently. There was a shift from consuming to questioning. Why did this matter so much? Why did conflict feel like entertainment? Fans are shocked when they realize how easily empathy gets lost in the scroll. How quickly real people become characters. No grand finale ever arrived. No dramatic apology. No final statement that tied everything together. Instead, there was acceptance. Messy, incomplete acceptance. The understanding that some stories don't end cleanly. They just change shape. Emotions ran high long after the headlines stopped. The family was left divided in quiet, lasting ways. And what remained wasn't outrage, but a lesson. About timing. About words. About how quickly things can spiral when pain meets a platform. And as the internet moved on to the next moment, the people at the center of this one were left with something far heavier than attention. They were left with themselves, with the choices they made under pressure, and with the truth that some conflicts don't need a winner to leave a mark. The story didn't end loudly. It ended honestly. Unresolved, imperfect, and human. And now it's your turn. After everything you've just heard, every twist, every quiet moment, every explosion that shook the timeline, the question isn't just what happened next. The question is, what do you think all of this really meant? Was this a story about ego and pride, or was it about pain that never got the chance to heal in private? Were lines crossed beyond repair, or is there still a path back that no one has been brave enough to take yet? Fans are still shocked, not just by the drama itself, but by how real it felt. How familiar it felt. Because at the core of all this noise are themes you've probably lived through yourself. Betrayal that didn't come from enemies but from people you trusted. Silence that spoke louder than any argument. Moments where you wanted to speak your truth but knew the cost might be too high. Emotions ran high for a reason, and that reason goes far beyond headlines. So now ask yourself, if you were in Erica's position, would you have spoken up sooner or stayed quiet to keep the peace? If you were in Spice's shoes, would you have clapped back harder or chosen distance to protect your sanity? And when it comes to Young Thug's situation, do you believe the public ever really understands the weight of what someone carries when the cameras are off and the courtrooms loom? This is where the conversation doesn't end, it begins. Because stories like this don't belong to one side or one voice. They live in the space between perspectives. And that's where you come in. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Not just who you support, but why. Tell us what moment hit you the hardest. Was it the silence? The indirect messages? The nostalgia? The realization that sometimes there is no clean ending? If you've made it this far, you already know this wasn't just another piece of internet drama. It was a reminder of how fast things can spiral, how quickly people are judged, and how rarely anyone pauses to ask what the cost really is. The family was left divided, yes, but so was the audience. And that division says a lot about the culture we're all part of. Make sure you like this video if this story made you think deeper than you expected. Hit subscribe if you want more real, raw breakdowns that go beyond surface-level gossip and actually unpack the emotions behind the chaos. And turn on your notifications so you don't miss what comes next. Because if there's one thing this story proved, it's that silence doesn't always mean the end. Most importantly, comment below. Respectfully, honestly, whether you agree, disagree, or are still unsure, your voice matters here. This space isn't just for reacting, it's for reflecting. Because the drama may fade from the timeline, but the questions it leaves behind don't disappear so easily. Thanks for watching, for listening, and for sitting with the uncomfortable parts of this story. Until next time, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and remember that behind every headline are real people, real consequences, and emotions that don't turn off when the screen goes dark.